Two citizens were murdered in the car in the wee hours of the morning, 4 or 5 o'clock. Some of us was over there passing out leaflets and wanted to try to get some neighborhood responses, and we finally were successful in that because somebody came through with some information, and that's how these defendants were apprehended. But anyway, for one defendant, that'll be his next court date is August 20. My name is Richard Mason. I reside in the district here. I'm a court advocate. When I retired, I wanted something to do in order to serve my community. So I went to a CAPS meeting. I was told when the next court advocate meeting for that district would be, and I went to that meeting, that court advocate meeting, and told them that I was interested in becoming a court advocate. So I was interviewed by the district commander at that time, and that was 12 years ago, and here I am, yes.
My name is Robert Van Poinbrook. I actually reside in the 3rd District, and I am a beat facilitator for my beat, 332, as well as a court advocate. I became involved with the CAPS program probably now 15 years ago, and been very supportive of what CAPS stands for. When
there is a case coming to the 3rd District, regardless whether it's an abandoned building, a murder case, a vacant building case, a store that may be selling unlawful items, they will report that to the 3rd District, and will and if there's a court date, for example, for an abandoned building, if there's a court date for a crime that's been committed in the community, sometimes it will ask for the support of the court advocates, and that's where we come in at as court advocates. We go there to be with them to show that you not only have to be there with your family and friends, but you have total community support also. You have other people who will go through the courtroom to present your case to the court to show that you have community support.
We had a case identified to us a few years ago where a lady, they were doing whatever on the block, summertime, having party, what have you, barbecue, and she got whacked over the head by somebody on the block. And she was afraid to go to court. So the very first time that the case was to be in court, she actually didn't show up. And we were successful as court advocates to talk to the attorney to get that case reinstated. And then other members of the community who had brought that case to our attention were able to speak to the woman and have her actually show up in court the next time for the case. And it was successful. The person actually got some time imposed on them for assaulting this woman.
And when you're there in numbers, as we all know, people in numbers, sometimes you get a better response. So when you show up in court with these victims of crime and you go there as a group, it makes a difference whether there's 1 or 2 there or whether there's 15 or 20 people there.
A lot of cases we'll go to, I sit in court for maybe an hour waiting for my case to be heard, and you hear all these cases, they're just being dismissed because no one's showing up at court. So it makes a difference that, we've had judges, they're writing their paperwork and stuff like that, and all of a sudden, when our case gets heard, and he sees all these people in court, it gets his attention.
The state's attorney realizes that you have a large representation from the community there. That state's attorney, he or she, will convey that information sometimes to the bench, to the judge. The judge will see us sitting in the courtroom and to say, okay, this is something that really needs to be dealt with, because we have a lot of concerned citizens here from the community here who are involved in this particular offense. So that makes my job much more satisfying and meaningful to me when I can see the results of us as a group, as a community, going there to support the victims of crime.
Come to one of the meetings, we'll get you involved, and we will arrange to have someone go to court with you so you are comfortable with what the process is. You'll learn a lot of things about your judicial system that you would not ever have a clue to unless you go to court and see what some of the statuses and the back and forth between the two sides, and definitely to support their neighbors and their community for cases that actually affect our community.
So come on out and support your CAPS organization, and in turn that supports the fighting of crime in your community.
If you want to become a court advocate, just check with your local police station. You can also visit Chicago Police Department on the Facebook page.
If you see something, say something, go to cpdtip.com.